Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your energy forecast and breakthrough card pull for the day for October 24th, 2023. For those of you who are new, welcome. And if you're not, welcome. My name is Arlene Grace, and I am a master numerologist, a channel, a spiritual mentor, and an alchemist. And so today I'm going to talk about the energy through the numerology, through Egyptian numerology, and then we'll be doing a card pull to see what is rising up in the collective to be seen, to be broken through in our hypnosis, so that we can choose to have a new experience. And so it's Tuesday. Now, when we think of the divine timing of things, Tuesday is a day of acceptance. It is the law of cause and effect, that I am the cause, the feeling, the frequency, the energy of the experience that I am having or manifesting in my life in this moment. And so on Tuesdays, today, we connect with our resources. We connect with people that we need who will help us to break through the past, to leave the past behind, to bring in something new. And so this is a day that can be emotionally charged. Sometimes it can be a severing of relationships. It can also be the severing of dynamics within a relationship and the creation of a new one. All of those are possible. And so in this day, we want to really look at and pay attention to who's coming into our life to mirror what we may have forgotten about ourselves. And so perhaps a trigger of where you're not seeing or sensing your own value, of not thinking that you are lovable. People are coming in to remind you of the deeper truth that you are, right? They may also be coming in to mirror what you have decided in the past is not possible for you, i.e., having a deep, loving, connected relationship, or having a business that flourishes, having wealth in your life. And another place that you may be looking at may be the muse of your parents. So it could be your parents coming in, or the ways that you identify yourself with your parents. And so things that might be holding back, conditionings that you may be having, or even having those who raised you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a parent. It can be a grandparent. It can be a teacher, someone who you may have put on a pedestal, who told you who you were, that doesn't resonate with who you actually are. And so I'm inviting you to ask yourself the question today: what am I willing to change? Am I, in my relationships to myself and with others, am I accepting less than? Do I want to experience more? And in the experiencing of more, am I willing to open myself up to receive in all possibilities that are beyond my own thinking, beyond my own ego? Or do I believe that I have to do it all alone? And if I do, does that mean that I'm willing to work harder and manipulate in order to achieve the things? So we've got Jack of Hearts and 5 that's playing with us today, that's supporting us in our own evolution. And Jack of Hearts is the initiation of a new story with love, to allow yourself to be experiencing a higher expression or level of love. And so on the low perception, this can be promiscuity, it can be the playboy or the playgirl, it can be patterns of where we may have misinterpreted sex as love, and where we may identify our bodies as these vessels for love. It may be patterns of where we may have sacrificed a part of our body in order to have love. And so moving in the direction of having relationships where part of you was holding you back. It can be a place where narcissistic behavior comes into play, and these patterns that play out in relationships in order to manipulate and maintain love in certain ways. And so places where we may withhold the truth, where we may be gaslit, or where we may be gaslighting ourselves. And so it's really interesting because I was thinking about this yesterday, and something that's been rising up for me is this idea of, is it possible that I've actually been gaslighting myself? Have I been gaslighting myself in a lot of my relationships? And where is that pattern? And what really came forth was, yeah, you do. And it's places where I have stopped myself short or been paralyzed in disbelief. And so there have been people in my life or experiences that I've had where there's been shock value, and where someone has done something to me and I just can't believe that that is possible. And so there have been several experiences. There have been experiences of I've had people that would come to my house late at night, and they would stalk me, and they would call me and they would say, "Hey, look outside, here I am." And I would look outside and I'd be in disbelief. I'd be in shock that that was actually happening. I've had people who have, blown up fireworks at 2, 3, 4 in the morning in order to get my attention. And again, even though that is happening in my life, I could not believe that it would be true. And it was because there was a part of me that wanted to see the good in people, or a part of me that saw their light. And so there was this pattern of choosing who I thought they are rather than seeing what they are or how they are in the moment. And in that, it's been holding me in this place of continuing to play in that pattern. I've been gaslighting myself. And so when you think about that and you bring in the five is really this opportunity to see, where are you running away from love? Where are you running away from the responsibility of love? Well, in that experience, I was running away from deeply loving myself, because I was holding myself in disbelief. It's not possible that that happened. And yet it was true. It was happening. There are people in our lives that do things that are painful, or that that are opening for us, that allow for us to see the truth, to release the distortion. And so in this with the 5, it's noticing, am I being responsible to the love that is mine? Am I being responsible to loving myself in all of those places? Am I being loving and respectful of my body, of my mind, of my emotions, of the love that expresses through me? And am I making aligned choices in that love? Which possibly means that these people that are playing in this shock, that are my muse, don't necessarily belong in my life in this moment. And so noticing that for yourself. Do you have a pattern of gaslighting yourself, where you might be holding yourself in disbelief of, I can't believe that they did that, and it's okay, they're going to change. It's okay, I see their light, rather than, oh, there are actually people in my life that may use and abuse me, and they will take whatever it is that they want, and after they do, they might throw me away. It is true. There are people that might do that, and these people might be people that are not necessarily growing in this moment, but that is true. And so in the truth of that, what is it that I want to experience? Am I willing to stay in that abuse pattern, in that betrayal pattern, in that abandonment pattern, in that neglect pattern, because I am the root of it? I'm doing it to myself. And so I invite you to muse. I invite you to notice, where or who in your life are you not necessarily holding accountable to their actions and to their behaviors. And in that, it doesn't mean that we are to go and berate or blame or express ourselves from a place of, I am right and you are wrong. It is an opportunity today to come into acceptance. I accept that I might have been telling myself stories. I accept that I might not have been playing in the reality of life. And so in that, I'm going to feel the trigger. I'm going to allow the trigger to release. I'm going to face it. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to free it. And I'm going to let myself off the hook as I let them off the hook, and vice versa. I'm going to let them off the hook, and I'm going to let myself off the hook. And then from that place, I'm going to ask, okay, what is inspired from me? Are there words that are needing to be expressed in this moment? And of course, for anyone that might be going through a safety issue of an actual abuse, do the thing, call the police, get help. And if not, just taking an opportunity to assess and observe your life and to notice these patterns so that you can break through them. We're in this energy of an 8 this month, which is allowing for us to come into our deeper sense of power, to understand the power that is running through us, to allow for us to be the leader and the authority in our own life. And this is part of the mask. And so I'll be curious to see what rises up for you. I invite you to please share in the comments. And let's pull some cards. Let's see what is rising up in the collective to be seen, to be noticed, so that you may become aware and so that you can decide if you are going to break through. And it's just a choice. And so I invite you to be open, to be curious, to allow, to notice what's activated within your own body, your own emotions. I can feel there's some grief that's rising up. As we allow the grief and confusion, we allow the confusion to just rise up and to go. And confusion is the distortion. Oh my goodness. Okay. Love. King of Hearts. Yeah. And so what is rising up is the places where our ego is keeping us safe. And so our ego, when we think about all of this and how we attract people into our life, our subconscious is attracted to the, what is it? The energy of whatever emotion you are feeling. And so it is attracted to how much is running through the body. And it doesn't look at whether or not it is a positive emotion or a negative emotion. It's just attracted to that. And so as it's attracted to that emotion, we call in people into our life that allow for us to see that. And sometimes we don't like the experience that we're having, and we continue to play in that pain. We continue to play in that suffering because our body is addicted to it. And because to our body mind, to our ego, it is more comfortable and it is more certain to know what will happen next. And so it becomes calculated, becomes a program, it becomes easy, even though it hurts. And so what we're breaking through is noticing this place where we are being attracted to this energy, this frequency, this vibration, even though it doesn't suit us, and to break through the spell to notice, oh, I'm noticing that I'm continuing to play in this energy and I'm continuing to tell this story because my ego is telling me that this is more safe for me to stay in this pattern than for me to venture outside of my comfort zone, than for me to actually love myself so deeply, for me to allow myself to receive love, to think that I'm so valuable, I'm valuable enough to receive love. And so I invite you to play with that today. How open are you to receiving love? Or does it make you skittish? Does it make you uncomfortable? Because on the other side of that energy is the discomfort of actually receiving love. To have someone just constantly tell you, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I love you, and I love you. And some people get squeamish because to receive that amount of love, to feel that amount of love, actually makes them uncomfortable. And that's you in the discomfort. And so noticing that, and this is the pattern. And as you begin to notice that, you're being invited to actually break through it, to burn it down, to rebirth, to allow for the relationships to come into reality so that you can see and so that you can decide, are these the relationships that I want to continue to have? Is this the relationship I want to continue to have with myself? Is this in service to me? And if it's not, am I willing to let it fall? To let it fall into entropy so that I can be rebirthed. And in that comes the forgiveness, and that comes the acceptance, so that you can bring yourself back to neutral, so that you can begin to see with deeper clarity, so that you can begin to see the truth of you. And the result I love is the Queen of Clubs, which is the support and the nurturance of the mind. It's almost like, as I feel it, it's this, here you are and you're going against your comfort zone. And we can feel when we're going against our comfort zone because it feels like this electric fence. And so you can feel the buzz of it because you can feel the discomfort, you can feel the resistance. And here it feels as though this kind of just opens up and your comfort zone opens up as well, which allows for you to come and unmask. I don't even understand why unmask to re-identify what is it that I want in my relationship with myself? What is it that I want to have in my relationship with others? Am I willing to nurture myself first? Am I willing to come into service with me, with my mind, with my body? Because it does feel like this will create a detox within your body, within your physical life. And as I do that, I deepen my own connection with my soul. A deeper sense of my soul becomes embodied. I begin to hear more of what my higher self, my guides have been saying this entire time, which is beautiful. And so you deepen your own sense of trust for you. And so I'll be curious to see how this all resonates for you. Please share in the comments. If you and I haven't yet connected, I'd love to connect, and we will look at your numerology. We'll do some channeling. And for those of you where we have connected, if you are curious about your numerology, if you want to take a look at your upcoming year, if you want to take a look at what 2024 holds for you, or if you want to do a life path reading where we actually take a look at your thinking, your feeling, your expression, your blessings, your accountability, all of the things, including the blessings that you have in this lifetime so that you can walk on purpose, I invite you to connect with me, and we'll schedule a call. Lots of love. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the spaces. Bye for now.